Hi everyone. This is Vanessa back with just another reading or energy check-in because I don't know about some of you guys out there, but with all these eclipses and planetary alignments and a lot of stuff going on lately, the energy, especially like this past week, the energy has been like insanely intense, right? Um And I know I was saying that I was going to commit to doing at least one divine feminine and one Virgo. And I've done a few Virgos and I haven't checked back in for the divine feminine. So I am going to do that right now. I was like, oh, I got that feeling like I should come do a reading, right? Because I was like watching this one girl and she was doing a reading and she was using the Alice in Wonderland deck, which is this is like, oh, here, let me adjust this camera a little bit. Oh, yeah. All right. Yeah, so this, like these, they have like the red back and it's like the Alice in Wonderland deck. And, maybe I'll just hold on to this, trying to please everybody. I felt like I should take that. But when I went to grab this deck, this wanted to come out and show itself to me as well. All in the golden afternoon, an inspiration, conception, creative spark. So when I went to go grab my decks to come do this, I felt like I should grab my light and dark and then my fairies deck and then the Wonderland deck. Because, like, seeing that girl use the Wonderland deck, I was like, oh, that's my deck. I love this deck. It really resonates with me. You know, like, I really resonate with Wonderland energy, like, in a huge, huge way. Like, if I had to pick a character in Wonderland who would be me, it's probably the March Hare, who is like the Forever Tea Party. Yep, that's probably me. Also, changing topics at random and bringing up nonsense sometimes. Yeah, that's probably me. Sorry, that's my tea party. Welcome to come, welcome to leave, whatever you want to do. Oh, look, I want to be a queen, divine feminine, girl. And then also, but like this side, when I was holding it, it's like if I hold it like this, it'll look upside down. But when I hold it towards me, it says set. It says set your course. So divine feminine, somebody out here or somebody identifying in their divine feminine energy wants to be the queen. So you're being told to set your course. Maybe you've because we started off with this all in the golden afternoon card, right? So maybe you got a great idea because like somebody is trying to keeping up. So, but we also have this all must have prizes, which talks about trying to please everyone, and I just want to remind you guys to be really careful of your people pleaser energy. There is totally a balance between, oh, look, belonging to your own dream. So I feel like this is really important. I feel like I'm going to take that. you know like I feel like this is right now I feel like this is a lot of our energy. We need to belong to our own dream, right? So some of us may not have uh uh to been able to tap into, like, well, what is it that we should be doing? What's our purpose, right? Because how many of us are like in 2025, we don't want to just leave the past behind. We actually want to be walking in purpose and doing something this year, right? We want to do something different. We've been stuck in the past for long enough, and now we're turning over a new leaf, right? So now we're like, okay, well, we want to belong to this dream. So now we're getting this creative spark for what it is we should do. And I really feel like, you know what? I do feel like, on the one hand, like, too much people pleasing is not good. Too much people pleasing is actually a sign of codependency. And I know we all like to think that we're just being benevolent, loving beings by doing this for everybody. And it makes us feel like we're sacrificing for the greater good and we're being altruistic by doing all this stuff for all these other people. But when we do that at the expense of leaving ourselves last, then we're kind of also not really doing what we think we're doing, because you're not doing a service by anybody by putting yourself last. because part of the importance of a divine feminine is that you yourself have a specific role in this world. Oh, follow the white rabbit. Curiosity meets opportunity. I'm going to take this as well because I feel like this is resonating too. Yep. I'm going to take this one as well. The right way, learning how to create what you desire. I feel like these are all going together. Wow. This like Wonderland doc really wanted to, you know. You know what? We saw this keeping up and then this came out upside down, right? Which this clock time is talking about pressure or being in a rush, but it's upside down. So I like and earlier I saw this one to be upside down. It is kind of like so there may be somebody listening divine feminine, you might have times where you feel like you're not keeping up at all, and then you feel like, okay, well, am I keeping up now? And you know what? It may just be some uncertainty. It's almost like a hangman kind of energy where you're like, oh, well, am I kind of, you know what I kind of feel like? There's been all this energy lately with all these eclipses. So we talking about leaving behind people and situations that no longer serve us. But what if also the thing we need to leave behind is this sense of, well, are we too late? Are we too early? Is it time to do it? Is it not time to do it? Like, this is kind of almost making me feel like with these clocks, like, some reason it feels like time is both important and also not important at all, you know? It's basically the time important. Oh, yeah. And then look, it's always tea time. We're still talking about time, eternity, endless moments, and repetition. So maybe somebody feels like while they're trying to figure it out, what it is that they should be doing, they feel like they're stuck in this circle. Yeah. And they're giving into nonsense. Um, they want to like make sense of what you're doing with your life. And that's totally normal. I mean, you know, I mean, even those of us like when you are, oh, and you have some choices coming up. So, you know, I feel like don't be too overwhelmed with these feelings you're going through right now. Maybe we're just putting too much pressure on ourselves. Feeling like feeling like finding the way feels a little bit impossible, you know, but all you need is a fresh perspective, you know? So maybe like so with this fresh perspective, I'm actually going to take this and put this down. And look behind fresh perspective is that card we saw when I first started shuffling was I want to be the queen. So gonna take that. I'm going to messages for a rabbit. So maybe if you're also a rabbit sign, I'm a rabbit sign. If somebody is also identifies as a rabbit, or under if you're born under the year of the rabbit, you know. So we're try. We need to find some sense. All right, so we're gonna leave this here. And then I'm also gonna switch over to, I'm gonna switch to the fairy deck because actually that's where I feel like I should go with this next. Because I feel like seeing this impossible things made me feel like I should switch to the fairy deck. But it's like, so we need a fresh perspective. Okay, so like we need to create something new. We need to let go of feeling either in a rush or feeling like we're behind, you know? And okay, so like I super love Lord of the Rings, right? And there's that moment where Frodo first finds Gandalf on the road to the Shire, and he's like, "You're late." And Gandalf is like, "A wizard is never late. He arrives precisely when he means to." So, you know, sometimes you know, oh, I'll check that out later. All right, so like oh, but you know what? I just got a notification on my Discord for like to go watch a trailer for a new movie called The Last Meadow. That for some reason the name of that title makes me think of The Last Unicorn. Wow, I wonder if that's like a live action The Last Unicorn. And then it's just like they're calling it The Last Meadow. Ooh, splitting on the oldest fairy. We also have a book fairy, but it was upside down. So maybe the thing you need to create is something that somebody else needs to read. So like a book fairy, that'd be like somebody who loves books and loves to read. Well, so Grumpy Fairy is here and he's like, yeah, so we're waiting on you because Book Fairy wants to read what it is that you're supposed to write. Explain on Magic Frog. Magic Frog is kind of like Princess and the Frog energy. Like somebody, you're about to meet somebody who seems like they're this frog energy, but you know what? If you apply a little bit of love, that frog is going to transform into somebody else or into something that you don't expect. I don't know where that came from, but that just came to me. Is that that's going to be somebody in your energy. And here's Oldest Fairy again. So we're going to take him out because clearly Oldest Fairy, he must be some kind of spirit guide tapping in for this reading. So not only do we have and I like Book Fairy. Look how purple she is. All this purple. Love it. And with her cup of latte, let's go, girl. And then we also have Fire Dance over here. And Fire Dance is number 33, which is like an ascended master number. So I feel like this is really starting to make me. So we have a 33 and a 39. Oh, and look, we also have 33 down here. So 33 is a number of mastery. So there we have 33. I want to be a queen, and then 33 Fire Dance. So, maybe this is for somebody who's actually a fire sign, or you have fire signs highly aspected in your birth chart, maybe. Or maybe like the thing you need to write for the Book Fairy it's something that's maybe a fire dance. Maybe it's like what maybe there are people out there who are actually fire dancers. I mean, if you go to Renaissance festivals, they have people who like eat fire and eat swords and walk on fire and all this kind of stuff, all this like old world sort of things, right? So I feel like something over here else wanted to flip as well. I guess we'll see if it comes back around. Thinking of you. All right. So somebody out here is thinking of you. And this came out number 55. So now we've had angel number 33 and 55 both out here. Also the fact that we had 32, 33, 34. Dude, all right, here, hold on. I'm going to pause. And then we have a 3 over here. Dude, all these 3s and 5s is starting to be like giving me some interesting feelings right now. So look at this. We have 1, 3. Look, we have 1 and 3. I mean, 1 and 13, 1 and 3, and then 13. We had 21, which is a 3. And then we have 32, 33, and 34. So this 32, 33, 34, that feels like that's a divine timing, So we kept seeing these clocks about time. So whoever is out here worrying about time, I feel like you should not worry about time because I feel like everything that's happening right now is happening as exactly as it should. So, and this is the magic frog again. What did I say? This person, there's somebody in your life, divine feminine. I don't know if that is your divine masculine. For some of you, that can be a divine masculine or a divine partner that's coming into your life, who's coming in. The form they're coming in is going to be like this frog. And maybe that's like you have to listen to your discernment because your discernment is going to let you know that this is a frog and not just like, you know what I mean? So, or that's your frog. What we got here? We got discovery. I feel like this discovery is kind of echoing that all in the golden afternoon. So I feel like pretty soon this reading is going to start to repeat on itself. So we'll move on in a second. But, so maybe also like this discovery. So I feel like maybe when you discover who this person is, like, all right, so we had this card about impossible things, right? So like your average person will feel like if you actually kiss the frog and it turns into your prince, what's the chances of that happening, right? But maybe it is more. And you want it to be a queen, but you haven't told anybody. So, like, but what you're going to discover, because you notice how, like, the little dragon up here with the green wings, and then she has it. I feel like her seeing that green dragon is just seeing a mirror reflection of her soul, like in a transformed version, like a shapeshifter. And then the green wings on this frog are kind of similar to those wings as well. So I feel like somebody is going to discover their divine masculine, but they're going to find him, like, the shape they find him in is like, don't be deceived by, like, just because you're seeing him in this frog, like, there's some, oh, you know what, all right, this is starting to give me like big time fairy tale vibes now, because like, a lot of okay, oh, now we also have Jewel of the Sea, card number 5 is a number of transformation. Oh my god, dude. All right, so also this Jewel of the Sea, when we're looking at the sea and deep water, so there's a lot of emotion here. So I feel like this person, whoever this message is for a divine feminine who has a masculine who's coming in, and the form he's coming in, like, or maybe you already met him when he's the frog, and in order to break this curse, it needs love, true love's kiss, right? So, like, um or the frog needs to kiss the princess in order to be set free from this curse, hex, or spell or something, right? And when that happens, the impossible is happening. And then it reveals like his true divine masculine self. And that once that happens, like, you're going to become the queen. So I feel like this message is for somebody who is a divine feminine, but maybe you haven't quite like stepped into your empress energy yet, like, you know like, you're somebody who's like, you do aspire to like keep growing and improving yourself, and you're on your journey and you're doing the work, and you're like, you are striving to improve yourself, because you're like, okay, yes, I want to be that person, I can be this person, right? um so we also have home sweet home. So this is maybe feeling like either the home you're in right now is not going to be the home you're going to be in when this happens. So, like, when this person comes in, you're going to be in this like deep emotion, and then it looks like you're going to move. So your home that you have now will not be your home. Sometimes when I see upside down cards, I'll feel like this is somebody else's energy, but I don't feel like this is anybody else's energy. And also, this is card 64, which is actually a 10. And 10 is like the completion of a cycle, right? Which we complete a cycle to start a new cycle. So now you've completed these karmic cycles of your old life, and you're entering a new cycle. And so part of your new cycle is finding your divine masculine. But just remember, when you find your divine masculine, he's actually going to be this frog. So, like, uh, like, he's not coming to you in a form that's going to be obvious, like, oh yeah, this is my divine masculine. No, it's not going to seem obvious like that. But if you tap into your inner discernment, you will know that that's who they are. And I feel like trust the love. We also have summer dragon. So I feel like sometime between now and the end of summer is you're gonna find this person, meet them, whatever is supposed to happen with this person. I feel like it's gonna happen before, by the end of summer, possibly before summer starts. So I feel like by summer dragon being here is um and we saw that fire dance, so maybe also that fire dance speaks to the summer as well. We have wishing you health in the wild violet. These two I'm actually not as super knowledgeable about at the bottom as the balancing act. So maybe some of us have like just, there's something that we're not balancing properly. It may be like us balancing this. Oh, and we also have Kelly's out here at the bottom of the deck. Can we all just like give her put some respect on her name? You know, regardless of what you think of her, she's been on my spirit team since I started doing tarot. And I tell you what, dude, she's, you know, um, she's been enormously helpful, and she's really encouraging. I just really appreciate her. You know, especially since like my mom passed away, you know, I haven't really, you know, and my grandma passed away before my mom. So I haven't really had that like maternal person in my life. And I really feel like sometimes when she shows up to like talk to me, it just really feel, I don't know how to explain it, but it gives me like this kind of like looking out for me vibe. Oh, okay. Wild Violet is romance. What did I just say about that's like the Prince Charming guy, right? the the hidden lover. But it says it may be time to perk up a current love affair or to welcome a new one into your life. Think of all the romantic things you can do, and we always hear about the fairy tale romance. But as fairies will tell you, it doesn't happen without some effort. A relationship should be based on mutual respect, honesty, and love. Small things go a long way in perking up a relationship. There's the small kiss on the cheek, just for nothing, or the hug at the door. Really listening to your partner is vital to any relationship. Get the basic building blocks under a relationship and then keep building. Even if you're not currently in a relationship with another person, you can treat yourself by creating a space in your home to pamper yourself. Romance isn't just for some, it's about a pretty tablecloth and flowers in a vase, and soft music to relax by a nice glass of wine. Oh, I love this. And it talks about romancing yourself. And I love that. Because you know what, Divine Feminines, we really need to, like earlier when we started off with that, all must have prizes. And I was like, you know, it was giving me this feeling of somebody who's been doing way too much people pleasing because they thought they were doing like they thought they were doing whoever this is resonating for, you know, it felt like you were people pleasing, like you felt like you were doing something altruistic, but now you're being guided to all that effort and love that you were pouring into other people. It's time for you to pour that into yourself. Write yourself a love letter. Write a letter to yourself and talk about, you know, and love letters can have a lot of different forms, by the way. You know what? A love letter can say, this is what I really love about you. A love letter could also say, you know, I'm sorry about this thing that happened. You know, and I just want to let you know that even though this happened, I didn't mean for it to turn out this way. You know, and it could be an apology. Like apologies are love, you know, like when somebody apologizes for what they didn't handle, you know, it makes us feel better, right? And not only that, but I feel like this is great for building self-love as well because sometimes like we have wounds that don't heal in us because uh you it's not healing because you need to acknowledge it, and by making that apology to yourself in a letter, you're going to be able to heal that something that time that you feel like you should have stood up for yourself and you never did. Oh, and now we also have this card 61 wishing you health. It's talking about call a friend today. You know what? I called somebody today. You know what? You know what, Divine Feminine? Like today, you know what? Oh my gosh. Should I tell you guys about something that just happened? Wishing you health, and the key word is wholeness. Oh my gosh, I just love this. And we were just literally coming off talking about self-love and pouring into you. Wholeness, yes. Wholeness, yes. Let's heal ourselves. Let's heal our heart, you know, because it says at the bottom, it says, I am worthy of a good rest, I am worthy of good food, I am worthy of good health, and I am worthy of the good in life. So be it, you know. So it's like, you know, you think that all these other people are worth all this stuff that you pour into them, but so are you. Oh yeah, and also the poem at the end of the Wild Violet says, "O great goddess of light, bring romance into my life. Cast about me an attraction spell. Oh, well, all right. I'm not going to finish reading that because I don't care about spells. Eh, spells are like not my thing. So, um, but it says, this wishing you health, it says this is a health card. If you find yourself wishing for your wholeness, then it's time to do whatever it takes to break the spell of disease, whether it be on a physical, mental, or spiritual level. All these levels must work together in order for you to be the best you can be. Miss, I want to be the queen. Yes. So there must also be an acknowledgement that the lack of wholeness or the feeling that something is missing is all just an illusion. First, understand your divine perfection and that you are now and have always been whole. And bring that wholeness down and merge it into your body. All right, so this is talking about, like, you know what? It's like that's like that mentality of lack, where we feel like, and I can resonate with like feeling like you're missing something, because most of my life I always used to feel like I was missing something, you know? Like there was just something important that I needed, and I couldn't remember what it was. But you know what? Maybe all this time that something was just myself. And it was, we had this jewel of the sea, which speaks about transformation. So write yourself this love letter. Write yourself this love letter. Yes, I love it. Write yourself this love letter. You know what? One time I did a reading for a certain person in Final Fantasy, and they had the Magnolia card, or the Magnolia fairy, and that reading was really about writing themselves a letter to acknowledge everything that had happened in their life. And divine feminine, write yourself a beautiful love letter. Acknowledge, maybe write yourself a letter and acknowledge why you think you should be queen, and what is this world you want to create. What is this idea you had? What do you want to create? What is this thing you want to set up? Write a letter to yourself and tell yourself all these details about what you want to create. Feel free to go wild. Like, don't worry about what you think is impossible or not possible, because change is here. We saw, so right now in this reading, we had 33, and then there was 33 and 32. Like, there's so much, like, with these numbers. I just, yes. And it says on here also on this page, it talks about sometimes you have to place yourself above others in order to get a proper rest and to ease out of the tensions in your life. This is not a selfish act, as you must be in tip top condition in order to give your best to others, and or to yourself and others. Forgive yourself and any others for past deeds, as holding on to these regrets takes a lot of energy that can be used elsewhere. So love yourself and know that you are worthy of good health and happiness. Yeah, so it's, you know what? Like, when I've done readings for people in Final Fantasy, I always tell people, like, if you are somebody that likes to take care of other people, which a lot of divine feminines are going to be people who like to take care of other people. We're helpers. We like to heal and help guide people, and pour into others, but you can't pour out of a broken pitcher, right? So, or an empty pitcher. So it's really important to, prioritize yourself and make sure that you're taking care of yourself as well. So, and then Kali, who's at the bottom of the deck, is 13, and we had a 13 in here. And I'm gonna wrap this up in a second. Oh, and here's 33. This is like the third 33's come out for all three decks. Release your power and dress for alchemy. So, girl, write that letter, divine feminine. Write that letter. Write a letter to yourself. Tell yourself about it. Oh, and it says, love is strange, but it's not strange. You know what? When you first start focusing on loving yourself, when you've been a person who dedicated your whole life around other people, that might feel strange to you. It might feel a little weird. It takes a little getting used to. It takes a little, you know, it's it takes it's you're gonna ooh. So let's see. Voodoo and Blue, back off. So, don't be afraid to tell people, like, if anybody's making demands of you. So it says, be true to yourself, but it's upside down. Yeah. So, divine feminine, this message is totally for, there's a divine feminine